Hello, welcome everybody. I'm finally doing the video that everybody wanted. Is the updated review of the Dell Inspiron 14 5000 series ultra portable computer. I bought this at the University of Houston a while back, a couple months back, and I've been testing it, and I've been running games and everything on it. I've been streaming on Twitch. I mean, not on Twitch. I've been streaming on Facebook, gaming, and capture card and all this other stuff on it. But yeah, let me show you what this computer is. I bought it at the University of Houston bookstore. Like I said, it costs $429. The model that I got was the bare bones one. It only had 4 gigs of RAM and a 64 gig hard drive, or 128 gig hard drive, and Windows 10 for education installed on it. So that's the license it had. So what I did is I upgraded it to 16 gigs of RAM, DDR4, 3200 megahertz, and I put a 512 NVMe SSD, Gen 4, 3000 read, 3000 write. So, and I also put in a micro SD card for more storage. So anyways, guys, here is the computer itself again. You can guys see it's non-touchscreen, so it won't work. Touchscreen won't work. They have a touchscreen model, I think, on Dell.com, but that costs a lot more money. With all the upgrades, with the RAM and with the SSD in there, I only got the RAM and the SSD. While looking about an extra probably $120 or $100, so $530 computer. Plus taxes comes to like $560. This supports up to 32 gigs of RAM, supposedly, and this is an i3 processor, Core i3 processor, as you can see there, Core i3. So like I said, I've been running games, I've been running OBS, I've been streaming, gaming, and capturing at the same time. Before we get into all that, let's take a look at the computer itself. Here is the trackpad. It uses Windows Precision drivers, Precision touchpad. It's better than Synoptics. The USB Type-C, HDMI, 14-inch. Oh, so it's a 14-inch display, HD webcam, and dual microphone, and wireless, and plus Bluetooth combination. So this is your webcam and your two microphones in there. As you can see, there's a good screen to hinge ratio. Basically, it fills up a lot of the screen, and this actually looks like a 13-inch laptop. By the way it is. It's really small, guys. Let's take a look at the side here. Micro SD card reader. You can put up to terabyte in there, I think, or 2 terabytes. USB 3.0 and your headphone audio jack. We look at the sides here. We have the USB Type-C, USB 3.0. HDMI port, and a power adapter cord. This does not have a Ethernet built in, so you have to buy a dongle, either with the USB, put it in there and make an Ethernet. They sell those separately, sorry. And also, I was actually telling you guys that these were the speakers. These are not the speakers, these are actually the fan. So what happens is the hot air gets blown out from the sides here. Let me show you the bottom of the computer. It's very light too. Bottom of the computer, you get your standard Phillips head screwdrivers. You get a fan in there and another big fan. So this is a big heat sink, and the speakers are on the sides. That's pretty good. Okay. The resolution is 1920 by 1080p max. Let's take a look at that, because we're gonna have a lot of people asking about it. 1920 by 1080p, so that's full HD. It's not 4K, it's not 2K, it just maxes out at full HD. The graphics processor, it's a Core i3. Let's take a look at a 3D Mark benchmarks. So this is 3D Mark. I was running benchmarks on it, and the score I got was 924. It's 11th gen Core i3 1115G4 Ultra UHD graphics. Your score 924, average 839, and the best score with this processor 996, so almost 1,000. Graphics score 840, CPU score 2,157. The feature is not available in 3 Oh, okay, so it's not available. Here's the monitor, how much it went up and down and up and down. The CPU, the load, the clock speed, the memory, the bandwidth. And here is the system itself, the information for the system. Ultra HD graphics, 1080p display with 150% scaling, i3 G4, the version of it, time, the system information, display, generic adapter, here how much FPS I got. And these tests were ran in 1080p. Let's take a look at the options here. Okay, so they were run automatically, so basically 1080p, scaling, automatic, system info. So that's what we get. Oh, and there's more here. You have to upgrade to see all this. But in the basic 3D Mark, my score was, I don't know if that's good or bad for this type of processor, but that's the score. Let's take a look also at Task Manager. Task Manager right here. So you see everything opens snappy. Everything's really snappy. Let's go to the details, or actually hold up, the performance tab. CPU, how much underload it is. I just ran 3D Mark, that's why it's pretty high. Memory, I have 16 gigabytes of DDR4, 3200 megahertz, as you can see here. Let's make this bigger so we can see all of it. Right here, speed 3200 megahertz, slots 2 of 8, SODIMM form factor, reserved for the hardware. We have 11.1 gigabytes free, and how much is paged, non-paged. And this is 3200. What the beautiful thing about these Core i3 11th or the 11th gen processors is that it takes 3200 megahertz RAM right away. You don't have to go to BIOS, you don't have to enable XMP, you don't have to do any of that. There we go, you can see that. Also my disk, I have the SSD, 512 SSD, I think is this one. Oh no, this is the 120. So it comes with a 120 built-in NVMe SSD. There's 2 slots. One is already populated by the by a slot, and then there's another free slot. So this is the 120 SSD NVMe. This one is the 512 SSD. You see, it's not running right now. And this is the 64 gig micro SD card that I have installed. And the graphics processor, people are looking at that. What type of graphics it uses? Is it good? Is it bad? It's pretty good. I mean, for a Core i3 and for this form factor and for this price, and actually the game's pretty good. You might be thinking, how's that possible if this is using only an HD UHD graphics and it's a Core i3? How is this possible that I could game? Because thing is that it uses 3200 megahertz RAM, so it's really freaking fast. The RAM is really fast for a computer to be running 3200 megahertz. I know with the new processors, it's already like basically default 3200 megahertz, but if you have an older computer with integrated graphics, you're probably only running it at 200 or 2144 or 2600 max. This is literally what's it called, 3200 megahertz, so it's really freaking fast. Also, the thing about this computer, or with the 11th gen computers, is that it has like a little kickstand right here. You can see that right there. That's like a little kickstand because it gets really hot. When this is under load, the computer literally blazes really hot. So it really pushes the limit of what a processor, what a Core i processor can do. I know for the i3s, this is really hot. So when it starts picking up speed, it like burns really hot. That's why it has an extra hinge there for ventilation to go in and out. But we're looking at the graphics processor here, Intel Corporation, driver date, and the model of it. People are looking, saying what type of UHD graphics does it have. It doesn't really tell me, if it's 612 or 630. Oh, we also got an update here. So let's actually check the update, what it is. Support. Oh, okay, cool. So I got a graphics driver update. Nice. 11 Gen. This came out in August. Okay, I'm gonna install it later. But for the graphics options, let's check it out. Actually, just go to the command center, because I know a lot of people want to buy a really small compact computer that's really ultra thin and to be decent enough or decently powerful enough to be able to game. And that's why that's mainly why laptops are bought, also for like video editing and stuff. Oh, we got a new a new driver available. Okay, so when we're in the graphics driver menu here, you can check everything that's available. I mean, this is like a brand new Intel HD or Intel driver menu. It doesn't use the old one anymore, so it's pretty cool. You can change it to custom. You can change how much red, how much blue, how much green you want the computer to go. Display is not compatible with high bandwidth digital content protection, and your display is not 4K capable. It will be 4K when you well, I don't know if HDMI supports 4K, but if you're able to hook it up to another monitor, maybe with the USB, probably get 4K that way. But this is about it for the computer that we have. The video here, you can see, you can test the graphics and stuff and the video and everything. It tells you here what all the options do, system settings and stuff, preview, real-time preview. So you get all this, the brightness, the contrast. You can change it all, and you can basically take a look at how it affects everything. So it looks really damn good, actually. The screen is really good. Here's the system information. The GPU, UHD graphics, Direct 12X driver, Vulkan, OpenCL, shader version, graphics memory. It's 8 gigabytes. It uses 8 gigabytes of the RAM shared. It could use up to 8 gigabytes basically. Depends on what you're doing, what heavy load you're doing. You can plug up to 4 monitors on this computer with the graphics. The processor, the clock rate, the memory. I got 2 NVMe SSDs, and I got a 64 gig SD card, as you can see there. It tells you there. Power tells you how much power it uses. It's discharging basically. Support, diagnostics, license. You get all this. So I really like the graphics options on this, because it gives you a lot of options. But yeah, guys, overall it's a good computer. I really like it. I mean, I can play a lot of video games on it. Like all the emulators, like Nintendo DS works really good. Super Nintendo works really good. PSP works really good. 3DS works really good. So it's an emulation machine that looks really well. Sorry, I'm not going to be able to run any of those emulators. I don't condone piracy. Only download or only take the games from the cartridges you own. Don't just go out there and download everything. But yeah, though, I use OBS. Let's open OBS for now. Basically stream on this. I play video games and I stream on it. I have my Xbox controller connected to it, and here's a preview of it. Whenever you're streaming on a low-end computer, you always want to disable the viewfinder. So basically go to preview, enable, and then click on that, and then it disables it. That saves 10% of CPU right there. So yeah, I stream with it. I play video games with it. But as you can see, Steam. Let's open Steam. The games I have downloaded. I don't have anything like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or any Witcher games or anything like that, or any of those popular games. What I do have, I have the 3D Mark running, Castlevania, Dragon Dragon, Fighting Rage, Paladins, Beta, Public, Rage Injustice, Shaq Fu, Streets of Rage 4, Takeover, and Warframe. All those games are really playable. I'm basically maxed out the graphics in all those games, so it's pretty good playing all that. I don't know how that translates to playing on GTA 5, GTA 4, or whatever you want to play on, or Battlefield, or Call of Duty. But I'd guess if you put it all on low, it probably would run really well. If you want my Steam gamer tag, there it is. You guys can add me as a friend. Right? But yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Now, the things that I really don't like about this computer, I'm gonna tell you a couple things I don't like about it. I don't like the fingerprint reader that much, even though it looks pretty cool. It's basically attached to the power button there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. No matter how many times you calibrate it. Another thing that I really don't like about it is the screen is really not that bright. I mean, you're probably looking at it right now saying, what is he talking about? It's really bright. But in reality, it's really not that bright. I mean, it's just normal at the best. The viewing angles on this is actually pretty good. It looks pretty clean, as you can see there. There's no ghosting or anything like that. So that's another plus. Another thing that I really don't like is sometimes the trackpad. Sometimes there's like some dead zones here and there, you know? It just randomly happens, like, just randomly, once in a while. When I'm trying to use it, sometimes it won't move, and then it just corrects itself really fast. Another really a really big thing that I don't like also, like I told you, the heat. When you're playing video games on this thing will literally get piping hot, literally. You do not want it on your lap. I guarantee you do not want this thing on your lap when you're playing video games. So if you do that, I have actually a cooling fan that I put it on. Let me show you guys. I put it on this cooling fan, and this basically blows cold air inside the computer and blows all the hot air out. So I recommend you getting something like this if you're gonna buy a computer at the game, or you're gonna buy this computer to game. Get something like that. It'll really help out. Literally, really help out, because your game will not throttle or thermal throttle or anything like that. And that's another thing with this thing is that when I use the cooling fan, it doesn't throttle at all. It constantly keeps up in all the games. But once I take off the cooling fan, this thing just boom goes really down low and throttles a lot. So that's one thing you guys got to think about. Video editing, I really don't know, because I really don't edit any videos anymore. I mean, I used to do that back like 10 years ago when I opened my YouTube channel, or I think I opened it 2006 or something. But yeah, I used to video edit in Core 2 Duals and Celerons and Pentiums. But I don't know anything about video editing. I think it might be okay as long as you're not going 4K, maybe only 1080p. But other than that, guys, it's a good machine. It's very lightweight, very good quality, feels solid. Like I said, I bought mine at the University of Houston bookstore. You can type that on Google, University of Houston bookstore, and just look for this model. Dell Inspiron 14 5000. And I think they still have it for sale, but it's a lot more expensive than the one I bought it. But I think you do qualify for a $100 rebate. But I just went to the bookstore, went in there, got it, and they just took it home. They thought I was a student, but thank God I was able to get it. Anyways, any questions, comments, let me know. I can't particularly talk about the gaming other than the games that I showed you here in the emulators. And you saw my 3D score, so I think that's okay. As long as it hits 1,000 or close to 1,000, I think that's okay for Core i3. The webcam is 720p, I think. So it's just okay. I wouldn't do any live video streaming with that. But yeah, any other questions, guys? Comments? Ask away. Other than that, it's a beautiful computer. And if you're gonna get a SSD, I recommend you getting a Gen 4 NVMe SSD. And for the RAM, get DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM. You can get any brand. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.